Hi everyone, we're live and today we're super excited for the AMA and really looking forward to welcoming Brendan Duhamel, co-founder and head of blockchain at Myria. Myria is the leading Web3 gaming ecosystem with over 1 million registered users, an in-house AA game production studio and 250 plus games building on the platform, including cricket legend AB de Villiers, who's launching his game on the Myria network, which is a layer 2 Ethereum scaling solution with zero gas fees. And with the launch, the recent launch of the native token, Myria is moving towards building the ultimate Web3 gaming ecosystem, with the Myria token bringing in-game utility and numerous benefits to holders, empowering the growth of Web3. So Brendan, great to have you with us today. Thanks for joining. Would you like to give a bit of an intro about you and your background in blockchain gaming and game development?
Yeah, absolutely. So very happy to be here. By the way, world-class pronunciation on the last name. Most people most people butcher that. Very French. But yes, I'm Brendan Duhamel. I am the co-founder and head of blockchain at Myria, and I've spent the last decade, in fact, in crypto or blockchain in some form or another. Bitcoin originally back in 2013 timeframe when that was the only name in the game. And then I drifted into the strange world of enterprise blockchain for a little while in the trade finance realm. And then got the itch to get back into crypto and games. Pretty soon after that move became very obviously the use case that I thought was going to drive mass adoption, and I've held on to that since then, and have been working with Myria now to really drive that goal to fruition for over a year and a half. So yeah, very excited to be working with Myria and speaking about it today. Oh, you're on mute, I think.
Thank you. Yeah, I know you guys are doing really great things. So maybe tell us a bit more about the Myria ecosystem and the different pillars of the ecosystem.
Yeah, of course. So I think the primary thing about the Myria ecosystem is that it's an ecosystem built by our partners. We have over 250 game studios who have already signed up to build amazing Web3 games with us. So why are they doing that? We're a layer 2 scaling solution that supports the development of those Web3 games. So our mission is to help both Web3, but even more specifically traditional game developers who know that avenue extremely well, but the Web3 aspects less, to create and deliver new projects and deploy NFTs at scale. So they're doing it at scale because we're a robust L2 built on top of Ethereum's L1, meaning we don't lose Ethereum's security guarantees, and you don't have to worry about bridging or anything else. The classic L2 pitch. We're powered by Starkware StarkX, which means we achieve high computational throughput up to 9,000 transactions per second, which is roughly 600 times faster than Ethereum, and at zero cost with a zero carbon footprint. We also have our own marketplace and wallet that we've developed ourselves that our partners can use out of the box, and our own AAA game studio. This is really important because I've worked, as I said, in the enterprise realm where we are often interacting with large organizations where the individuals we were speaking to weren't the ones using our product in the end. And so it was difficult to get feedback on what we were producing. So having our own AAA game studio in-house means that we're getting constant feedback on the developer solution and the just general product stack that we're providing for our own partners. So that's really exciting. And we were created by passionate gamers. I'm a gamer myself, even though I wasn't a game professional prior. I've, as I said, just been in blockchain. But the rest of the team comes from some of the top game studios in the world. My co-founder was very senior at Ubisoft. Most recently had a studio that was acquired by Activision, and a lot of our team has worked at top studios. So we're really excited about the game side.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. And so with all these games, over 250 gaming projects building on the Myria platform, how does Myria help games leverage the platform's tools to build games? Maybe you can give a bit of an example.
Yeah, of course. So I think maybe just at a high level, we can break it down into two segments. So we have first our APIs. Tooling, which any developer is going to know how to interact with. So this isn't an API that's sort of specific for Solidity, much less Cairo, the language Starkware products are written in. It's a pluggable API that, as I say, a developer is very used to interacting with, and it allows them to plug into our smart contract infrastructure. So, for example, any transaction from minting NFT or launching a new collection to transferring or exchanging existing tokens requires no direct smart contract or network knowledge on the part of the developer. So you can connect to a REST API, then you know how to manage and interact with tokenization projects on our L2. And then we also have the SDK. So that's the APIs. You can understand is sort of the core functionality, but then we have an SDK, which will include a variety of plugins and tools to support the common engines that are out there: Unity, Unreal, HTML5, and others eventually. We'll provide the developer with an intuitive portal to integrate with the Myria gaming ecosystem. And by the way, that includes, and this is important to us because we've been gaming focused from the beginning. That includes not only the Web3 aspects, so the bits that I just mentioned there, minting and managing tokenization, but also character and item interoperability, login and authentication, inventory, and a rich suite of sort of other gaming specific functionality that you need to develop a game just generally, but which is natively working with the Web3 aspects, makes the entire journey of becoming a Web3 enabled as a gaming developer a lot simpler. So we're excited about both those.
Yeah, that's very exciting for game developers. So let's talk about the first game in development, Meta Rush, a battle royale game, as well as an obstacle runner, and the closed alpha demo. How did it go? What was the feedback, and what can players expect in the full game release?
Yeah, absolutely. So Meta Rush, as you say, is a battle royale type obstacle runner. It's set in a different space biome within the Myriaverse, which is sort of our metaverse, where we have sort of interlocking lore and the like for different Myria Studios games. And it's the first Myria Studios game that we're developing, so it's our flagship one. So we're very excited about it. And as you said there, we had a gameplay demo which had some special guests, including the European Fall Guys champion, Gecko, whose name I hope I'm saying correctly. I've only ever seen it spelt, but we were joined by him. And then also were some members of the community, including from gaming guilds and partners. It went extremely well, and the feedback we've gotten has been very useful in terms of developing out the game. On our roadmap for 2023, a public pre-production release is mapped out for the second half of the year, barring any essential delays. So really excited to get that out to the community and continue to get that feedback on it. So yeah, wait patiently for that. It is coming soon.
Fantastic, thank you. And I know that this is a really exciting time for Myria as well, and you've recently released your token Myria that's used for transactions on Myria's layer 2 scaling protocol. What does that mean for game devs building on the platform, for users? What was the utility of the token?
Yeah, definitely. So it's a big milestone for us. We've been live. The L2 has been for I think 9 months or something like that now. But what the token release means is that a lot of the features that were dependent on having a token within the L2 can now proceed. So that includes, for example, the protocol fees. So we've had no protocol fees as of yet, as a way to sort of incentivize and seed volume on the network. But of course, we will have protocol fees as a way to generate revenue for the overall project and continue to feed that back into the ecosystem. And that will be paid with Myria. So that's an example of the utility. But then as for other general utility, of course, Myria token will be used for governance, but also now we can introduce staking as well. That's something we have in the works now, as well as exclusive NFT purchases. And as you would have seen if you've taken a look at our node sale, which is ongoing at the moment, Myria node purchases can only be bought with Myria. As well as the daily rewards that are distributed for those nodes are through Myria. For developers, it means that they can look forward to the ecosystem fund. We have 40%. I want to say I'm quite confident in that number, but we can double check in the white paper, and I encourage everybody to do, because our tokenomics are very well spelt out there. But 40% of the supply, I believe, will go toward the ecosystem fund, which will allow us to incentivize developers to come and continue building awesome stuff as they have been in the Myria ecosystem. And that's just sort of the start. Definitely as more projects go live and our partners do stuff that even ourselves at Myria probably can't anticipate, with more on-chain game logic and very interesting tokenomics of their own games and everything else, then Myria is going to be used for a variety of other aspects that we can't foresee even now. So that's the initial utility of the token that we can guarantee, and then even more as our partners go live with their games.
Cool. I know that you mentioned the Myria nodes. I know they went live yesterday, so maybe you could elaborate a bit more on the node ecosystem, some of the features and the potential benefits of becoming a node operator.
Of course. So prior to the benefits of of a node operator, I should just say a word about sort of what the purpose of the node network was, or sort of why we decided we needed that from the beginning. We looked at a number of projects that had issues in the past of sort of each step in their ecosystem development, which required additional decentralized compute, meant going out and sort of trying incentivizing node operators to come online to support that feature. We wanted to avoid that and just sort of have a dedicated network of nodes providing that decentralized compute for a variety of activities, even before those activities were necessary or those features were supported. And so that was the impetus for the node network. And then as and when, as I say, those features are required, for example, when we need oracles, when we have potentially even decentralized storage and the like, governance and more, we'll be able to leverage this node network that we've set up for that. So as you say, the node sale has already started, and node owners that operate their nodes, this is the rewards part, will be awarded daily with Myria tokens. That amount, I should say, that's distributed to the node network generally is always the same. 12 million and some change Myria daily. That means that for each individual node, the reward will be higher if fewer nodes are running. So go ahead and run your node early and often, and you will be incentivized for doing so because you are supporting the network in a variety of ways.
Fantastic. And how can somebody acquire a node, and what does it take to set up everything to go online?
Yeah, pretty straightforward. We hope we tried to design it that way. So head over to myria.com/nodes. Follow the instructions prepared for you there. You'll need to have MetaMask installed and some Myria tokens handy, because as mentioned, purchasing the license can only be done with Myria tokens. And then once you've completed the transaction, and all is good on the blockchain, you'll be dubbed sort of knighted as a node operator, and all that info to set up a VPS or download the software directly to run the node on your machine will be sent to you, and then you follow those instructions, set up the VPS or run it on your machine if your device has the requisite specs, and then you're off and running. You keep the node up for 6 hours a day, and then you're eligible for the rewards for that day. There's a step-by-step, if that sounded complicated, I hope it didn't. I hope that sounded easy enough, but there's a step-by-step on our Medium with a video tutorial on Twitter. So definitely go check that out as well. But it's straightforward.
Yeah, fantastic. It sounds like you've tried to make it as seamless as possible for operators to be able to get involved. Great. And what other strategies do you have in mind for helping game studios and developers grow further in with Myria going forward?
So we could probably do a full AMA just on this one, but I'll keep it short here and say we have big plans in the works. If you've been keeping up with our roadmap, perhaps you've caught wind of what's coming up immediately next. We have a lot more after that, but currently we're gearing up for a major upgrade for our on-ramping tools. As I mentioned earlier, the mission has always been to empower the people who know how to come up with great ideas to bring those ideas to life without having to get bogged down in the nitty-gritties of the technical aspects, which are both new but also ever-changing and complicated, as I've talked about. So with our updated Myria tools, we think we're one much larger step closer to making our tooling easier to follow and ultimately to build with. We're also, with the launch of the token, working now on a comprehensive grants program. So more details on that. So stay tuned, but also just reach out to us. And if you're a builder out there listening to this, definitely reach out to us and we can have that conversation early so that we can be ready as that's rolled out to have you come build with us.
Fantastic. Lots of exciting features. And I know that excitingly, you recently revealed AB de Villiers' brand new mobile game teaser, which is being developed on Myria. Super exciting. Can you tell us more about that?
I can absolutely do so. Yeah, this one I'm very excited about. I was not aware of AB before because I'm American and we don't do cricket. But as I learned more about him, the more excited I became about what he's doing. He has a massive following and is a legend on and off the pitch. I think you call it that, cricket. So yeah, we've been fortunate enough to partner with him. The game is called 360 Cricket. It's a mobile arcade game that follows sort of his personal journey into cricket. It'll have a story mode, as you might expect, that'll sort of take you through the different locations that played large roles in shaping AB's career, and then also a PvP mode where you can put your skills to the test against other gamers. So while it's early in development still, we've released a short teaser, and it's according to sort of our ethos as an ecosystem. It's going to be free to play because we want everyone to enjoy the game, and I should say that's going to be true generally of games built in Myria Studios also. So we're happy to be able to say that about AB's game as well. But yeah, stay tuned on all things Cricket 360 Cricket. It's going to be awesome.
Yes, yeah, definitely looks awesome. You mentioned the AAA studio, and we've just talked about AB de Villiers' game. And I know you've got a lot coming to the Myriaverse. So what's been happening at Myria Studios? What else can we maybe look forward to in the near future?
Yeah, so lots has been going on. We're not what we've announced so far has just been in regards to MetaRush. MetaRush, as I said, will have more coming very soon. So stay tuned to that. But we're working on other stuff behind the scenes, which we'll announce as and when we're able. But there's a lot that's continuing to work there.
Very cool. Thank you. I can see some questions in the comments, so I'm just going to go to a few of those and and answer. See if we can ask them. So somebody asked, when will you release SDKs for developers?
Oh, we have. We have. As I say, we're in the process right now of finalizing a large revamp of those SDKs, and we think the process is quite easy to get integrated with them at the moment, but will be even much easier still after this revamp, which we've been working hard on for some time. So that's imminent, the release of that. But no, you can head to Myria's website now, and the developer solutions and docs are already there, and you can begin playing and building with it right away. So please do so if you're someone out there who's interested in getting a project started.
Fab, thank you. And another question: what's the burn system? What will it look like in the future?
For the Myria token?
For the Myria
token.
So
there of course be a burn system in place, but we don't have any sort of like specific details on that yet. We're really keen on getting the community's feedback when it comes to a lot of how we can put those certain ideas into action. I said that we'll have the staking rewards pool soon, so that of course is a sink in its own right, not a burning mechanism, but of course because we'll have protocol fees. I mentioned that those are going to be put back into the ecosystem, and if the community tells us that they'd like to see a lot of those protocol fees not get put back into the ecosystem, but just simply be burned, then we have that as a possibility. So that's why I say we don't have the specifics there yet, because we don't have a good source of, or a source of revenue directly from the platform yet. But as we do, and we're able to have a governance system in place with the token, then we'll definitely have that as an option for what we do with those fees. So more on that to come, but please get involved if you have specific ideas about it.
Great. And I can see some questions about the Myria token, and maybe you can just remind people, where can they go to acquire the token? What exchanges is it available on?
Yeah, so with every passing hour, it seems like we're listed on another exchange. I think it's up to 10 or 11 by this point. We launched just a few days ago, but we launched with OKX and KuCoin are two of the big names. So definitely available there, and among many others now, but certainly those two.
And I know we talked about MetaRush. And probably there's information in the roadmap, but do you have a timeline on when the game will be launched? Can you share more information?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, second half of this year, we'll have a sort of a beta version available, and that will be playable and everything else. And so that will be the next major milestone for MetaRush, as we say, barring any major impediments. But we've been on time so far with it, and the team seems to be moving at a really good pace. So expect the latter half of this year for more updates on MetaRush.
Cool, thanks a lot. Yeah. And I know that you guys are members of the BGA, and it's really great to have you as part of the Alliance. And what are some of the aspects of the Alliance that Myria can leverage?
Yeah, so a lot is the short answer, but we've already been able to do a lot through the Alliance. I was able to meet a number of the of the team when I was in NYT, New York NFT last year. Wasn't able to make it this year, but I think those type of events, sort of face-to-face conferences and the networking that we're able to do is extremely important, especially in such a fast paced and kind of high frequency changing industry that we're in, which is these Web3 games. I think this industry in 3 years, or even in a year and a half, probably is going to look different than any of us can anticipate. And so being able to have these collaborative sessions with the amazing members of the BGA is extremely important for our project to be able to navigate pretty choppy waters and make sure that we're focusing our efforts on what's going to have the most impact. If we try to just go it alone and say, hey, we're going to go do our own thing and not care what anybody else is doing, I think we'd be much more likely to end up doing something which people don't really need. But if we're having constant conversations with you guys and the other members in your organization, then we're going to be much better off for it.
Yeah, great. And how can members of the BGA or game developers, how can people get involved in the Myria ecosystem?
Yeah, well, I would say, first of all, get into our Discord. It's a very happening place. Loads of info there and a bunch of friendly people who are happy to answer questions. Even about how you can continue to get involved. So probably go to Discord first. If you're a builder, then come talk to us right away. Head over to myria.com for developers. And go with the Build with Myria tab, and you'll be able to comm with our BD and tech teams from there to discuss potential partnerships. Please do reach out if you're looking to build with us. And of course, oftentimes network participants are sort of a Venn diagram of things. So lots of other ways you can get involved as well. You can be a node operator by acquiring a node license, a staker in the near future once we release that feature. Or if you're passionate about Web3 or love the company, feel free to grind the ranks in our community and participate in events. It's really a party and everyone is welcome. So be on the lookout also, I would say, for playtests. As I mentioned, we already had one for MetaRush, and we'll continue to have both for MetaRush and other game titles that we release both ourselves and partner studios. But governance as well. And yeah, there are lots of opportunities to have a say in what we're building. So get into Discord and definitely let us know.
Awesome. Thank you. I can see a couple of other questions in the comments section.
Yeah,
will the currency be added to larger platforms such as Binance and Coinbase?
That's a good question. I'm not working directly with the exchanges our token lead is, but I would say that certainly as more projects go live and more and more individuals recognize us for the good that we're doing, I would expect that exchanges will want to list us, but we have no immediate plans besides the ones that we're on at the moment.
Okay, thanks. And last question from the comments. When can we use Myria instead of ETH on the marketplace?
Yeah, great question. So that should also be very, very soon. Of course, we will have our token be a currency that you can use within the marketplace. So that will be released in a forthcoming push of the software. So definitely something we'll support and soon. But I don't want to give a
fair enough.
One of my engineering leads on the call with me.
Actually, I have seen one question. It's popped up a couple of times about Moonville. When will be the Moonville launch? I can see quite a few people are curious about this.
I wish I could give a date. But, yeah, Moonville is being developed by one of our partner studios that we are particularly excited about, and have also already have play tests and everything. So it's in the works. Definitely look for important announcements on that this year. But besides that, I want to, but I can't. I can't make commitments on behalf of our partner.
Fair enough.
But definitely, you'll see more stuff on Moonville this year.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Brendan, for answering all the questions. Amazing info and lots of exciting things happening. And just to kind of round this all off, what are you most excited about with Myria within the ecosystem?
Oof. Yeah, that's a hard question. It's going to be a big year for Myria, as the first few months have told us for sure. The launch of the Myria token and Myria node was really just the beginning. As I've talked about, we'll be introducing protocol fees, Myria staking, getting that updated SDK out to make it more accessible. And even a developer platform build wizard. And again, don't want to spoil anything, but more MetaRush this year. Although maybe some other things that I haven't mentioned that we are also working on include an NFT universal order book and eventually a migration to Starknet. On a personal basis, I've been really in touch with the broader Stark landscape, and I think it's really good what they're doing. There's an on-chain open source project, on-chain game open source project that has been really blossoming recently, and so we're really excited to get involved with that. But just moving some of our products over to Starknet to take advantage of that broader ecosystem within our own, I think is going to be a big milestone. So hopefully make some good strides on that this year. But there's a lot I'm excited about, but I'll stop there.
Yeah, there's a lot to be excited about. So thanks, Fab. Fantastic. So I think we can wrap up there. Thanks so much, Brendan, for taking the time to join us. I know that there's so much going on and so many exciting things happening at Myria for people to join in with. And it'd be really cool to see what's coming up in the future. So thanks again. Yeah, thanks again for taking the time.
Yeah.
Thank you. And thanks everyone for joining. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.